a little more time, and we've got a few people, they'll join us as they can. You can see that we have the licensing intent training scheduled for Thursday, September 15th from 6:30 to 8:30. And then the background check training, that's for regulatory checks. If you're having any difficulty with that, which it is all automated now, and it's been a big change, but it's been in place for some time now, from 12 to 1 on Thursday, September 29th. I believe Paige Cox is going to kick us off with some updates about American Rescue Plan Act funding. And so I'm going to turn it over to Paige. I'm not sure if Paige is there. Paige, are you able to talk? If not, I'm happy to cover this.
It looked like she was having some issues with her mic. She stepped away.
Gotcha. Well, I'll cover. I see Kelly on too. This is where we are with expansion and supply building. Just wanted you guys to have a sense of the opportunities that have been created through American Rescue Plan Act with regard to infants and toddlers and school-age children. So we are currently at just over 7,000 additional slots. 1,788 for infants, and you can kind of read that, a little over 2,000 for toddlers and 3,000 for school-age kiddos. And we've had homes that have been able to expand up to 80 children. So it's probably homes that only kept 10 children and have added 1 or 2 or maybe 6. But we're real excited about the opportunity for programs to both expand as well as brand new programs to open with the supply building grants. The supply build, all of these are closed except for sustainability. The sustainability grants are still open. I know many of you are asking about those. If you have not gotten notice or have not received the funding, I know Paige had sent a notice to provider earlier. It's taking about 10 to 14 days for ACES to process those payments out. So just hold tight. You're likely approved and you'll see your funding in your account soon for sustainability. We will continue to operate that funding until we have completed or exhausted it. The supply building grants are being read on the 14th of this month by external readers. And so we will be announcing additional slots at our next meeting, and that should finalize our expansion in the state of Arkansas that we've been able to do. So it's really, really exciting to be able to do that. I know that childcare has certainly been on everyone's radar screen, and there's a great deal of interest by policymakers, but it's wonderful that we've been able to expand in our state. I do want to share with you that I was running numbers that from the beginning, so from about May of 2020 until last week, we have provided $424 million to early care and child care and early childhood education programs in the state. So I'll say it again, $424 million. That's totally outside of our normal $80 million budget for childcare. So it is amazing. And it's really exciting. That all went to providers to help you continue to operate, to do some amazing things that we're hearing about that we'll be featuring over the coming months and hopefully years with this one-time money. So we're very excited about that. We have over 17,000 children on essential workers. Child care assistance, those are running, as we announced last month, through December 31st. That funding will be exhausted. So those families will be in place until December 31st. And I just want to really give a big shout out to all the programs that moved from level 1 to level 2 in the past few months and past few weeks. it was a huge leap of faith, but we're excited. You do get additional funding when you move up to higher levels of quality. And I know that many of you worked really hard to meet those timelines and to get in. And so we're really excited that so many of our programs were able to do that under the deadline, and very proud of the work that my team has done along with A-State and other partners in our child care community. So excited about that. I'm going to check out the funds are required, Jennifer. The stabilization funds, which is really everything that's on the screen right now, we have to obligate those. That is obligation, not spent, but obligation by September 30th of this year. So we are on track. We will not have any problem with that. We have to expend those by next September, but we do have to show the feds that we have made an obligation so that it's all accounted for. And so we will meet that timeline. But the supplemental funds, which is essential workers, which we will have that spent by December, but the Teach Scholarship is in that bucket, and that one actually has to be obligated by next September and expended by the following September. So we have a little bit more time on supplemental funds, and that's where the Teach Scholarship is. So I will stop there. Paige, so sorry you were unable to talk. I know everybody would have probably preferred to hear you over me.
Tanya,
Oh,
and
good.
I actually ran next door to Brandy's office. I don't know if you guys can, hopefully you can hear me, but I did want to say, yes, it's very exciting news that we're able to serve more children. We're thrilled. And I also want to let you know that those are the numbers as of today. We're still working with some providers who applied for the supply building to get, and with expansion. So if you applied for either of those, we are still working with providers to add additional children. I did want to clarify, because I'm getting a lot of questions from providers about payment. And people are contacting me saying, well, my friend already received payment. Where is my money? And so I wanted to let you know, we processed a payment on our end around the 15th of August. So if you were approved on the 15th, you may have just missed that payment. And I also want to let you know that we are still working with providers who met the deadline for operational quality and expansion. So in addition to all of the sustainability applications, we're still paying out on these other grants, and we're paying as quickly as we can. But once we process a payment, once we submit it, then it still has to go through another step. It still has to go over the Department of Finance, and then from there it can take, I'm hearing around 14 days. So if you'll just be patient. If you applied for the sustainability, I think this is the main thing to let you know, because we said it was competitive. You will get the funding. Okay. If your application is in, then you are going to get the funding. You'll just have to just hang tight and know that we're working as quickly as we can. And then one other comment I wanted to make is, if you have friends who have not applied for the sustainability, we know of around 250 providers who received operational grant funding who have yet to apply for the sustainability. Please encourage them to apply. This is one-time funds. We may not get this opportunity again, and we would hate for anyone to miss out. So please encourage your friends to go ahead and apply. And I also would just like to shout out my appreciation to all of you all for being patient with us and being good partners and working with us as we navigate this. I can't believe it's been almost a year since we started this journey together. The first applications, or the application portal launched, I believe, is October 7th, 2021. So we've almost hit the year mark, and it seems like it was just yesterday. So that's all I have to share, but thank you guys. And you all know you can always reach out to me, and I will get back to you just as quickly as I can. Thanks.
Oh, I think that we had next an invited, some invited guests. Those of you who have been paying attention, if you have read the news in the last few months, know that the governor has created a women's commission. There is a subcommittee that is focused on family caring, which includes childcare as well as elder care and other areas. I've been meeting with them some, and I know that there are other early childhood folks that have met with them to talk about their knowledge. I believe Gayatri is on, possibly, but if anyone from the Women's Commission Subcommittee on Family Caring is on, we'd love to have you all make some comments or invite you to speak. If not, we'll wait. Maybe they're not in yet. I'll just give folks just a moment. I see someone who's on that committee. Marie, if you want to talk, we can give you access.
Good morning. Thank you, Tanya. I think Gayatri is caught up in a work issue right now, but she will hopefully be joining us soon. Just on behalf of the committee, wanted to thank you, Tanya, for your help and give everyone else a little bit of a broader picture. We are the Family Caregiving Subcommittee of the Women's Commission, and we've been tasked with analyzing the child care economy in Arkansas. Small task, just analyzing this huge economy that all of you participate in, and we are so appreciative of. The information and the work that we do will hopefully go to shape government and corporate policy in Arkansas. So we wanted to speak directly with you, with some of our providers across the state. My main focus today is really just listening. And if any of you would be willing to share some of your experiences and what are some of the biggest barriers you see, and also what are some of the opportunities you've had as caregivers. What are the things that work for you, and what are some of the things that have been barriers to you in particularly in starting your childcare work and also keeping it afloat? That's the main thing we want to hear about today, if you don't mind. So thank you.
Marie, I think because we have to keep this secured, I'm not sure that we can give full access to everybody. Rebecca can let us know that, but I believe they can type in, and I know that we have another subcommittee member on as well. Providers, if you would go ahead. If you will type in the chat box so that Marie and other members can see that. I know we've heard a lot from you, but I want you all to, this is your time to talk about your experience. I know staffing has been a big one. I see Tammy Rowland has put in, Marie, if you could put your email address and contact information, that would also, she can reach out to a broader group of people. We have about, I think 10% of our providers on the call today. So it's not necessarily a huge group, but it's a pretty good representation. And then they can reach out to you individually. But providers, I mean, I know staffing has been one that I've heard a lot of in the last few months. I don't know if that continues to be a challenge. Please feel free to put anything in the chat box in response to Marie's comments. You know, what challenges you've had, what has worked, what hasn't worked, what barriers. We really want to help them as they're working through this process, get the right information. I'd also just point out that our child care aware programs and folks like Tammy Rowland are a big help, but they work with networks, Marie, and our individual contacts regionally that might be able to help, you know, with getting some information from certain areas of the state. And we have child care aware really across the state in different, representing different regions. So I see somebody has put in, Debbie's put in, staffing still a challenge. And guys, I know, you know, I let off with that, but please, if there are other areas besides staffing, you know, please feel free to put that in. But I do know I've heard a lot about that one.
Yes. And also on the staffing note, you know, more specifically, is it training? Is it the salaries you're able to pay? What would be a help to you on that? Would it be for us to have incentives on training, or would it be and are these more in-home? Do you have in-home childcare represented here as well as corporate?
We do. I mean, I know a few people on the call. I can't say what percent is family childcare, Marie, versus childcare centers. But I think it's a mix. And even some of the centers are smaller centers. We do have school districts that do, Arkansas Better Chance and other pre-K type programs. So it's kind of a range of programs. But yes, there are smaller providers and family childcare homes on here. And I can say that we have colleagues that, like Tammy Rowland, that really work with Family Childcare Network. So they're definitely represented.
Okay. And then would you like to see, would there be in-person training? Would it be a hybrid of in-person or computer web-based training? What is there anything specific that we can help work to provide on that would be helpful to some way to get it done?
Yeah, I see a couple of folks. I see Maribel has put in person. And we do have through our contractors, and I know several of them are represented, A-State, probably UA Fayetteville. Some of our college folks that we work with are colleges that do contract with the agency to provide free training are on here. But I am seeing some notes about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all great information. Getting them to stay after they're trained. I see that. I'm sure that's an issue. And moving jobs quickly. And that's a great note that you have staff that are not comfortable with online classes. And I know there's a part of it that has to be in person as well. And I see some working, only able to work 9 to 2. I'm sure they have their own children too, so that's a factor. So basically, I'm seeing that you're able to maintain your centers with your admins and with these grants and things like that. It's the actual getting the people that's the problem. I see insurance. That's a good one.
So, Dr. Wolf, the question really is about any barriers that the field early care and education childcare programs have had, any concerns, anything that would help you if something is working, what is helping you accomplish staying open and continue. So that the original question, it's really just trying to get a sense from you all as providers, what some of your concerns are in the current, state that we're in.
And so it looks like your competition is the public schools for a lot of the childcare providers with the staff. And then we'd also like to hear from people on what motivated them to start their business and if they had any barriers with actual starting of their childcare centers from an administrative standpoint or even financial.
Guys are being very quiet. So I just want to, I'm going to prompt you a little bit because I hear from a lot of you and I just feel compelled. This is a safe place. I want you to be honest. It's okay to say things. And I appreciate those of you who are being honest here and putting in things. I've heard from a lot of you that, and Elizabeth, thank you for family child care particularly, but also probably for center-based care in some communities. City zoning is very, very challenging and difficult. So that's a really good one. But I do know financially that many of you want to start a program or you start up. and you know, there isn't any startup money. There has never been funding like we have right now. The $424 million is new. It's getting ready to end, but we haven't had anything like that ever in the 18 years that I've been here. So, and Renee, thank you for putting in that really honest comment. I've heard this from programs like I didn't have a place for my own child, or I had a baby and, you know, I couldn't teach. I didn't have a place for my child. So I started up an early care and education program. So I see people putting in some comments there, Marie, but I just wanted to help you guys. Like, please feel free to put in, even if it was 20 years ago, some of those things may be different now, but you know, whatever it was, Marie is really just trying to get your input. Oh, I saw a good one for us. And so team, I hope you're taking notes here about some of the things that looks like it might be a barrier we have. So let's make sure, or maybe our contractors. I see one about new staff orientation training. So, and it's online. So let's make a note of that. Gina, thank you for that comment. I think we're all holding our breath about the essential worker childcare. We know that it will be ending at the end of the year. And, you know, I've been saying we should start teaching business financial training to 5th graders so that people understand when they grow up and start having babies that there's a huge expense to it that we don't always know about. So I don't have any other answer at this point, but I appreciate that really honest comment about essential worker childcare. We're really excited to have offered it, but we're all worried about when it ends. Thanks, Donna. Donna's one of our trainers, Marie, so she's taking notes for any training that we provide for free through our contractors. So
this is great. And I also realized that, you know, the people who are on this call are actively engaged and have successful programs because they're able to participate in this call and they're seeking out the things that are available to them. And so congratulations on that. You've all done very well. And we're glad to see these successes. And thank you for all these challenges. I'm marking all these down to share with the team and do some extra work on and follow up.
Great. Thank you, guys. And please feel free to continue to add anything. I think Marie put in her contact information as well. So if you feel more comfortable reaching out to her, I really do just want to say thank you all for being honest and for being feeling safe to put your comments in. It really is helpful, especially if it's something that we can do at the state. If there's something that we can do that we might not be aware of, don't assume we know it. So that's why we have this call, so that you guys can let us know about things. So really appreciate the work and really appreciate, Marie, you and the subcommittee and all the work that you're doing to look into some of these issues and areas. So appreciate it. Several of you continue to put comments in. So if you guys want to move to the next slide, and Marie will continue to stay on and can capture anything. I think our licensing staff are going to talk a little bit about, I know this has been a big change, the enterprise licensing system that went live at the end of July, 1st of August. So congratulations to the licensing staff, and congratulations to all of you as programs for getting yourself enrolled. I think we had 90% of our providers in before it even went live. And so I just really want to compliment. That was not the case on other parts of licensed programs for the state of Arkansas. Nothing to do with childcare, but we have other programs that are licensed, and we had the highest number. So I just want to give you kudos for getting in early. And so I think the staff are going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we have found over the past month of implementation. And as you all may know, or maybe you don't know, when you go to new technology platforms and implement new systems and deploy new systems, there are hiccups and there are things that we learn. So please, we apologize for any inconvenience, but we are fixing the problems as we identify those or correcting those with our IT folks. So if you're having a problem, you do need to let us know so that we can let the IT folks know. But I'll let you guys talk a little bit about that, Becky and Dawn, when you're ready.
Good morning. This is Dawn Jeffrey. And so I just want to say we have just less than 200 providers who have not been able to create a portal. So I would say that's just amazing out of about 1,800 people. The one thing I want to say as a former provider is just, this is hard work. And I know that. And, you know, we talk about staffing, things like that. And just because it's just hard work. I think we get into this sometimes and people do, and they think, oh, I just, you know, I love children and I'm going to help, but they don't realize just how hard work this is. And it is really, really hard. Allison Nash and Tracy Richards, they've got some information to give you. And like Tanya said, it's brand new. You know, we've only been doing it a month. So considering the ELS system has been out a month, I feel really good about just the few things that we've had that have gone wrong. So they're going to give you some tips and tricks and things you can watch for. And then the next provider call, we'll try to have some more things. So we're going to try to keep that going and try to have some trainings where you guys can watch it. So Allison and Tracy, I think Becky will have to give you guys control of the PowerPoint or however technical we go with that. And so, but I'm like Tanya, I do appreciate everything you've done. And I just, $424 million is absolutely amazing to help take care of kids in Arkansas. So I'm tickled to death. All right, Allison and Tracy, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm Allison Nash. I am a child care licensing specialist. And today I'm going to be walking you through the provider portal. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my Division of Child Care? Okay. So this is our Division of Child Care webpage, and I want to show you where to go to find the provider login. I hear a lot that we don't know where to go to find that. If you're on our Division of Child Care and Early Childhood Education webpage, you will scroll down and you'll see Miss Tanya on the right, and to the left of Miss Tanya is a red button that says Find Child Care. You will select that button, and this takes you to what we call our citizen page. This is where families can go to find out information about child care programs. And at the top, you will see different tabs, and on the very right, you see provider login. Okay, provider login. This is where you go to enter your credentials, your username, your password. If you are new with us or have not yet created your password, you will go down to here to not a member and register here. Oh, what's all these? Okay, I'm logging into my provider portal. And when I log in, I'm taken to my home screen. So it says, welcome Allison Nash. And below that, I have 4 options here. Since we are in childcare licensing, I will be working under the childcare licensing section. And under that section, there is a button that says manage. When I select manage, it takes me over to my dashboard page. And on my dashboard page, I have 3 options under resources that I can access. It is manage applications, manage facilities, and online payments. Under manage applications, if we select get started, this takes me to the screen that shows me all the applications that I have applied for, and it shows me their status. So I can see that I submitted a change of information for these facilities. These are make-believe facilities that I created during testing. But I can see that I have an initial application here and that it was approved. If I want to start a new application for a new license, I would select Start New Application, select my facility type, select Start New Application, and then that's going to take me to the application process. The application is not actually submitted for processing until you sign and submit. Once you sign and submit, a licensing specialist will be assigned, and then we will start processing that. So if you want to start your application, work on getting your zoning or documentation you need, you can do that.
And Allison, so make sure we remind people, if you have a location that you would like us to look at, your licensing specialist to look at, it's called a consultation. You would go to this exact same spot and just fill out the first 2 pages of that new application, and then let your specialist know what you put in as the name of that facility. And that's where that whole consultation process starts.
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy's helping me today. Okay, I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to go to manage facilities. So this shows me a list of facilities that are actually open facilities that I have. So I can see that they have a facility number, what the name is, their new provisional facilities because they just opened. And then if I want to view the information about those facilities, I can select view. So I'm going to go to this facility right here and select view. When I select that, it takes me to that facility's information. And right here on the screen, you'll see on the left, I can go through each one of these tabs that is my information about my facility. And there are 3 tabs right now that I can work in without doing anything else, without submitting any other information. And the first one is facility schedule. So if I want to edit my schedule, let's say this is a 12-month program, but I'm going to close in June and July. I would select the little pencil icon, deselect June and July, go down to the bottom and select save. I've just updated my schedule. I'm no longer open in June and July. If I decide to change that, I can go back here and change that information back. Documentation is another tab that you could work in right now. If my facility gets a new fire inspection or a health inspection and I want to upload that documentation into my portal, I would go to documentation, add attachment, select what type of documentation I am uploading. I'm going to just pick one of these. When I find the document on my computer, I'm going to add it and then upload. So I see right here, I uploaded a fire department inspection. If I uploaded the wrong file, I can select the delete button and it will delete the document that I uploaded. The third tab that we can work in right now on this screen is daily rate information. So this facility does not yet have rates entered, but if I want to add a rate, I would select add new, the age group, the age type, enter my rate, and what day I want this rate to start. Okay, so I have all my rate information put in. Everything with a red asterisk is a required field. You cannot save this if you do not have a red asterisk field filled out. Okay, now we can see that I have an infant rate here that has been saved. On the left-hand side, at the very bottom, is a tab called Related Links. Now, Related Links has a lot of other fields within it that you can work in. Newly posted notices. This is going to be any of your inspections that are coming due, any of your license fees that are coming due. This is where you will go to view those notices. Viewed notices. This is any notices that you have opened and viewed. View facility visits. This is where you will go to find the visits that the licensing specialist has made at your facility. Facility complaints, any founded complaints that are on your facility, you can access those here. Submit provider reported incident. If you need to submit a provider reported incident, any licensing violation that has been made, you would go to that link and you would push start provider reported incident. Any provider reported incidents that you have previously reported would be shown here. Right now, there has not been any instance reported. So if I push start provider reported incident, it's going to ask me for my report information. So what type of incident is this? When did this happen? And then it's going to ask for a description. Okay, it's going to ask for my reporter information. Who is reporting this and what is their role with the facility? Okay, so I'm reporting that a child was left on the playground for 5 minutes alone, and I'm going to submit. Okay, so I can see that I've been given a case number. It shows the day I submitted this PRI. And it was a licensing issue, okay? I can view everything that I just typed in. I can view that under action. Let's go back to facility information. And I'm on that related links section still, okay? I can submit an alternative compliance request. I would select submit alternative compliance request, and here it shows another alternative compliance that I have requested. It was supported, so it was approved. But if I want to start a new one, I would select start alternative compliance request. I'm requesting this today. And I'm going to put AC request. Okay, so I'm requesting to hire an employee who does not have a high school diploma or GED yet, but she is in the courses to complete her GED by December. Licensing regulation. I have to find the licensing regulation that my request fits with. If you have any trouble with this, you would reach out to your specialist. They can help you navigate and find what regulation to select. It's going to ask for title, section, and then regulation number. So this is a personnel. Section is staff requirements. And this is regulation number 3. So it brings up my regulation that all staff members who work directly with children shall have a high school diploma or GED. I want to select this regulation and save. I would then submit. Okay, I have just submitted that AC request. I see that the status is submitted. Let's go back to facility. Okay, submit change of information request. Remember when you first get on your facility information page, there are 3 tabs that you can automatically work in without sending in any other documentation, and that is your facility schedule, documentation, and your daily rates. Any other changes to your facility have to be sent in through a submit change of information request. This requires approval by the licensing supervisor. So let's select submit change of information request. When I select that button, I'm prompted to a new screen And I can see that each of these tabs are now have a green checkbox. So I'm able to work through any of these tabs and make changes to my facility. For the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to add an assistant director to my facility. So I would go to Director Information. And I see that I have a director here, but I want to add a new person. So I'm going to add Tracy Richards. Again, anything with a red asterisk is a required field. If it does not have that, that's optional. Today she gets my email address and her start date is going to be today. And then director type. So this is where I select what type of director she is. She's going to be my assistant director. Now I know some facilities have other people who they want to have access to their provider portal, such as a financial person who maybe is going to make those online payments, maybe an HR person, just someone else other than a director, assistant director, or a site supervisor. To add those people to your facility, you will need to contact your licensing specialist. We can add those as an associated individual with your program. Once I get my assistant director information filled out, I'm going to push save. It will give you a red box if you miss something. So you got to push submit change request. Her qualifications, she has a bachelor's degree. Okay, submit change request. There we go. Okay, I can see that she's been added as a director. Sign and submit. So anytime you make a change with the change of information, you do have to sign and submit. Okay, and it shows that it was submitted successfully. So when I push sign and submit and I submit my change of information, it takes me back to the My Application section where I can see that I have submitted a change of information for this facility and that it's ready for approval. Once it's approved, this status will change to approved. Okay. Let's go back to manage facilities. And back to River Valley Kids. There are two other areas in the related links section that you can work in. Better Beginnings application. I can apply to for Better Beginnings or to level up in Better Beginnings. I would go to my Better Beginnings application and start working on my documentation. You cannot submit your Better Beginnings application until you have all the required paperwork and you've met all those Better Beginnings requirements. An EIDT application, I can apply to be an EIDT program under the related links section as well. If I push back to facilities and then back to dashboard, it takes me back to my main dashboard page. The last thing I can do on my dashboard is I can make an online payment. I would select Get Started under Online Payment. And I see that I have one payment that has not been made. So I put a little checkbox next to this facility that I want to make a payment for. You could have one facility here, 10 facilities. It just depends on how many that you have licensed and opened. Once I select my facility that I want to make my license fee for, I push continue. It shows me the amount and I want to select that I want to make a payment. Okay, so it brings me to the payment section where I can either enter a credit card number or an electronic check. Push next. Once I get all my credit card information filled out, I would then select submit payment. Okay, so this shows me that my payment was successfully received. I can print this page, print a receipt. And now I have no more pending payments. When you do have something due and some sort of notification, you will have a bell icon on the top right corner. If you select that, it shows you that you have a new notice, just different things. I can see that an application was approved. If you have anything new that comes to your portal, you will get a bell icon notification. Okay, so I officially walked you through everything that you can do in the dashboard section. I do want to say that, this doesn't take place of that communication with your licensing specialist. If you submit a piece of documentation, like you got a new fire inspection, you would still want to notify your specialist. I've uploaded a new document for you to review. There are other tabs that you can utilize in the provider portal. We have a resources section. If you select resources, this will take you through just some resources that we have available for you as a provider. Our updated requirements books, a rates worksheet, just things that you may use every day in your childcare facility. Okay, Tracy, did I leave anything off? Did I cover everything?
I think you covered everything. I'm going to put my
There was
email
one
address.
last thing. They want to see how to give people provider portal access. I did not show that. To give a director provider portal access, you want to go to manage facilities. Let's go back to my River Valley Kids facility. I want to go to view. And when I'm on this main facility page, if I go to director information, I can see that I can give this person, this director, I can provide portal access. If I select that button, you have to put in the last four of their social. Okay, so I have given Alice Nash provider portal access. Okay, go ahead, Tracy. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box. If you have any questions about how to navigate this, you can reach out to me, and I'll try to help walk you through some of it. For any technical issues, you'll want to reach out to Rebecca Mitchell.
Yeah, and let me introduce myself, you guys. And I did put my email in the chat. I'm Becky Mitchell. My email address is rebecca.mitchell@dhs.arkansas.gov. I'm helping providers who are having trouble with logging in. We are just seeing a weird glitch that I can help you navigate where you log in, and like the screen blinks. It is a weird thing, but I'll get that fixed for you. The other issue that we're seeing is once you get logged in, you cannot see your facility information. I'll help you with that as well. So I'm here for any of those weird technical issues.
Thanks, licensing team. I'm going to go back up to the top where I started seeing questions, and maybe we can help respond to as many as we can today, guys. I don't like leaving you guys hanging, but I know that Tracy's given you her email address that you can reach out to, as well as Becky. Let's see, Jennifer Easley is having trouble editing, but it sounds like there's something going on with her, so we may need to work with her. I think I saw an email later that said her left side wasn't green. They weren't checked. So there may be something going on with hers, because she should be able to edit things within her program. So Jennifer, we'll reach out to you and see if we can help you. I think we responded to Laura, who was asking if you're already licensed, do you have to start a new application or are you in the system? So if it's a brand new program, you probably have to submit an application, but you're already in there. You're probably going to have a lot of things self-populate. Am I right, Allison? But you'd be putting in a new address and anything new. But if you're licensed, you should be in there already.
That's correct.
And
Gotcha.
one good thing about this, it is being recorded. So, you know, if you go back at the end of the guy and say, now, how did she walk me through that? You can go back and watch it too. Cause I mean, it is a lot. It is a lot. And so, you know, we tried to do that too, where you'd be able to go back later on this afternoon, or your friends. Like if you have someone, we have 211 people on today. If you go, oh my gosh, you know, my best friend didn't watch this, you can tell them, hey, we've recorded this and it's a great way to watch it.
I know I've had a couple of questions and I saw a few regarding EIDT. It is an enterprise system. So early intervention programs that are licensed initially by us and then transferred to DIPSQA for monitoring are in this system. But if you have questions like your 1910 form, I'm not aware that it changes anything. I would reach out to your licensing specialist in DIPSQA, and they should be on your site as the licensing specialist. But if you have difficulty with that, we'll try to get you connected with them. But I don't know the answer. I'm not aware that there were any changes to the forms that you all are required to do as a result of this new system, but you definitely want to make sure that you have that. So if it's anything specific to EIDT, please check and see who your specialist is. Susan Morrow is a contact that we have. And then Martina Smith is the director of that division. So we can definitely get you connected with them if you continue to have problems.
I saw, Tony, where someone asked about, could they pay with a purchase order? I believe it's only a credit card or electronic check. I do not believe you can pay with a purchase order to pay your fees. Is that Becky shaking her head? Yes.
Yeah, you're correct on that one.
Okay.
Yes.
That was a question too.
And then somebody's asked about the name of their licensing specialist. If you're an EIDT, if you're in the system, if you're not in the system, you're one of those providers that hasn't quite gotten it yet, you know, just reach out to Tracy and we can help identify who that person is. But if you're in the system, you can go and see who's assigned to you, either EIDT or through our division, for those who are licensed through childcare. So it is in the system. And then there are a couple of you who are having trouble logging in. I think you know who to contact and we'll help you with that. Both Tracy and Becky have put their contact information in, and it looks like most of the questions have been answered. If we miss something, I know there's a lot, and I know this is a lot. But if we can help you identify, see another EIDT facility, thank you. They found theirs under home and community based, not the childcare licensing. It may be that you're in the wrong place. I'm not sure, Allison, if we're really aware of how they're
I can
located.
comment on that one, Tanya.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
if
Becky.
you are an EIDT facility, you are going to find your stuff underneath that home base and community is where you're going to find that one. All the other child care centers are there, but EIDT just migrate over into that area.
Got it. Thank you, Becky. That's very helpful for those programs. So if you're EIDT, you're going to be under home and community-based services. I think that's it. I do want to thank you all. This has been a pretty large meeting. I think they've put up the next call information, which is October 4th, but you know how to reach us in between. And so please feel free to contact us. Several of you put your personal contact information in there for individuals to reach out to you. I want to give a shout out to the Women's Commission and the subcommittee work that they're doing, and thank all of you who felt comfortable to provide information to them. They really want to help in this space. So please continue to reach out to them if you have additional information that you forgot about or just got busy and couldn't put in the chat box today. Thanks to the licensing staff and the Division of Child Care staff for all the work that they've been doing, all the processing of American Rescue Plan Act funds that have happened. I mean, I really start adding up this money, and I've been in my job for 18 years, but I've been in the field of early care and education for 30 years. And this is really an unprecedented time. For those of you who have been around for a while, we don't have one-time money. We've never had one-time money. I don't expect that we'll have one-time money when this American Rescue Plan Act is out the door. We just have never had that. It is something certainly for people to be aware of, and maybe people will listen to that as a need in our field. But it is has been a great opportunity to help following the federal guidelines, those of you who have been licensed and those of you who want to start up something with the supply building. So we're really excited about that. I hope that you all will continue to be safe, continue to pay attention to the health situations. We're getting into flu season. We still have COVID. You know, there are vaccines available for anybody who wants to get one. And I know younger children are able to access those vaccines now. So, you know, just encourage you to inform your parents, get the information that you need to provide care safely to children and their families. And just keep doing the great work that you're doing. Send in your stories about what you've been doing. I've seen some pretty amazing things, and our communications team is going to be doing a whole bunch of features about what you've been able to do within your facility. I've seen vinyl plank flooring going down, and I've seen a lot of paint. I've seen a lot of playground. I've seen some air quality improvements. I've seen some things that, while they seem simple to us, but in a family child care home, being able to get a table that was large enough to seat everyone, and shelving to store things. So, you know, it's been exciting to be able to help you guys with those things. So please send in your information so that we can feature you all. And I'm going to take a look at the last couple of seconds here and see if there's any other questions. I see a step up to wages. It is not in this call, but I think it was discussed in an early one, but we can have Paul back on to talk about step up to wages. That is part of the Teach scholarship. We're doing both wages and Teach. Those are both national models, and we're funding those through American Rescue. So Takeda, Paul Lazenby at the Arkansas Early Childhood Association is the contact. And we'll definitely have him on for the next call to give you guys an update on how that's going and what's happening. It's a great opportunity. So thank you all. I see one more question, Sandra. If you can send your stories, you can send them to me. Becky's put hers in. I think most of you know how to reach me, but anybody that's put their chat in, they can get them to me, and we'll get them up to the comms people. So just feel free. You can send it to your licensing specialist. They will forward it up to someone. We all work as a team. So, but we definitely want to get those stories, Sandra. And then Gina Dickey has put in a link to Step Up to Wages. So Takeda, if you can take a look at that, but we will have Paul on to talk about Teach and wages next time. Paige Cox said she would love, since she's doing so much of this work, she's put her name in the chat box, so she'd be a great person, and we'll be coordinating with our communications team. If we do get to feature you and push things out on social media, we will notify you and make sure you're aware. Lastly, I'll just say, you know, the 10 Minutes Matter campaign hasn't stopped. We continue to push out, and I know a lot of you got to be a part of the reading at the A-State conference, so thank you to all of you early care and education providers that were featured in that particular video. The link to view past Zoom recordings, Becky, is on our website under COVID related information. It's in some weird place.
It's actually under the provider informational calls. I'll go ahead and I'll post it here. I know I've got it up once, but we lose those a lot of times in our chat. So I'll put that in the chat box for you.
Thanks, Becky. Employees are so good at getting you guys what you need real quickly. So we really appreciate that. So yeah, if you want to go back and look at previous, and I think they've been recorded for, gosh, well over a year. So you can capture a lot of information. Some of it might be outdated at this point, but there's a lot of information out there. So if you need anything else, you have information on how to reach us. We'll see you in October. Have a great September, everyone. Be safe and take care of those babies.